Hey everyone, it's Naomi, and in today's video essay, I want to take a look at Far Cry 5. Because I want to talk to you about what might just be one of the most immersive games I've ever played. And I want to tell you why that is. And I want to talk about first person, and how the first person in this game could lead to some very interesting games in the future. Let's cut to some gameplay, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. Okay, so you jump into the world of Far Cry 5, and you're immediately greeted by the usual for an open world game, in-game HUD and all that kind of thing, but you don't have to use it, and that is what I want to talk about today in this video. Now, I want to stress, this isn't exactly a review as such of the game. I will say, however, that the game is amazing, but what I really want to talk about is how this game utilizes immersion in ways that other games really simply don't compare to. So, if I sound a little biased towards Far Cry 5 in some places in this video, it's because I am, but I am going to try and provide a unbiased kind of look at this game and give sort of the things that are great about the immersion in the game, as well as the things that could be worked on. So, like I say, when you start out Far Cry, you're given the option to turn off all the HUD if you want, and you can customize it to decide, relatively what you want the game to indicate to you and what you don't. Now, I recommend, if you can, to turn all that stuff off, or as much of it off as possible, because it really provides a much better experience if you do so. Now, the first question that one may ask as a video game developer is, why first person? And we're about to see a really amazing example of that here. Moments like this are instantaneously more terrifying in first person.
Hey man, how are you?
Instantaneously more immersive in first person. Now, if we go back to photo mode, which is what I was at in the beginning of the game, usually the game would be like this, right? The game would be in third, and you would be observing the scene like this. This is sort of what GTA is like when you play GTA. Now, GTA actually has first person as well, but it was tacked on at the end, and it was ultimately something that was decided was better for a newer generation of console, and was certainly something that they couldn't put in the game at the time of GTA 5's release. Whereas now we have the ability to do third person and first person in a game. So Yeah, but you'll notice that save for photo mode, there really is no way to see your character in the game. Other than maybe seeing a picture of yourself in the in-game world. There's wanted posters you can find with your face on them. But there's no way to see what you look like other than, in photo mode. And what this does is it instantaneously makes you feel more part of the world, because that's what real life is like. When you go into life, when you're born, when you're growing up, you don't experience that in third person. That's just a given. You experience it in first. You experience everything firsthand. And it instantaneously makes you feel more involved because of that. Because everything you experience feels personal. Now, another example of that, which I will use, sorry, had to take care of that bear, is if you go to interact with the domestic wildlife. That right there is first. And this is third. Now, well, sorry about that. Notice the difference. In first, you feel a part of what's going on. Things are more personal. You feel more involved in the situation. This is something that is also going to be emphasized very heavily in the upcoming game Cyberpunk 2077. The use of first person in such a way to make role-playing a better experience. Now, another game that used third person and first person is Skyrim. But even there, a lot of people were saying the older games were more immersive. The older games were more immersive because of one reason. They didn't rely on giving you information through things like HUD and all that kind of thing. Most of the information was given through visual cues around you, like road signs and things like that. These kind of things told you where you were, what you were doing, the people you were meeting, and all that kind of thing. Things like dialogue as well also told you that you were dealing with a shopkeeper. Little things like that really help up the immersion and lead to a more immersive experience. Now, if you haven't already, I highly suggest playing this the way I have it now, with no reticle or anything like that. Save the reticle in your sights, because that's relevant to immersion. And really try to immerse yourself in the world, and you will find that Far Cry 5 allows you, and I seriously mean this, it allows you to do that. Now, you might be hearing me talking about this game, and you might be thinking that I think it's perfect. And to be honest, I don't. It is right about now where I'm gonna pull aside from the road maybe by this road sign over here, I'm going to bring up the map. Things like this, map locations and all that kind of thing, are great to some extent because they highlight the entirety of the game that you can explore. But where it could be improved, or where it would be much better, is if they, perhaps had a map that you pulled up, something like that, to make it feel more realistic. Little details go a long way to making a game feel real, to make you feel like you're part of what's going on. And it's a bit hard to do that if you have menus and various things that take you out of the experience. Now, ultimately, you can't get away from pause menus. I'm not saying that. But, little things like what GTA 5 did, where you would have all the weapons on the wall, and you were able to decide which weapon you wanted to look at and buy ammo for. Things like that are a much better way of, purchasing weaponry in a game, because they feel realistic. It feels much less realistic to bring up a menu where you're shown, say, a menu and a bunch of things to choose from, and then you pick and choose what you want and buy it, A way to save this, maybe, is if you want to do stuff like this, have it show up on a device like a phone or something like that. And, maybe that's something they could work on for Far Cry 6. But really, outside of little things like that, getting back to what is immersive, there's a lot that is, and one thing I can't not talk about is the visual cues. Little things like when you go into combat, which I'll try and do now, hold on. And I want to talk to you about the indicators, because that's what we were going to look at. So, yeah. Another thing I'll say adds to the immersion is little things like that. Getting to look at your lower body. Little details like that. We've come a long way in video games, and it's great to see stuff like that, because I remember ages ago, you used to look down and you couldn't see your feet. And in this game, you can. And it's instantly more immersive because of that. I'm going to take a moment to be self-aware as I climb this mountain and say, I'm probably going to say immersive quite a bit in this video. But the reason for that is because that's what we're talking about. That's what matters. Immersion. I realize, there is a percentage of gamers out there who don't care about immersion. They just care about the game, the story, and all that kind of thing. But really, immersion can make a story better. It can make it more fun. It can make it more engaging when the moments feel personal. When they feel like you're part of them. And as someone who's played through the campaign, actually, there are a number of moments that did make me feel uncomfortable. genuinely uncomfortable.
Miss Mabel must trust you a lot.
And, you know, that's sort of what you want in a game like Far Cry. You want moments where you feel uncomfortable, where you feel on edge, because that is good storytelling, that's good narrative, that's good writing, that's just really good game design. Alright, so I'm gonna make my way over this way. And I'm gonna show you how this game becomes way more realistic when you turn off the HUD. Now, okay, things like flashing and all that kind of thing to indicate certain stuff. You know, that's not particularly great. And indicators like that can be a bit of an immersion breaker. Come on, get up. But, you know, there's that first person again, and it brings you right back into the action and makes you feel more a part of what you're doing. Even stuff like that is more immersive than anything else. Like, look at how cool that is. And let's just... I don't know how many more we've got to get, but I'm pretty sure... Oh shit. I know what to do. Stuff like that, whoa, that was a bit of a glitch, is way more immersive. Now, even stuff like weapon switching, you know, you don't need a weapon wheel. You can just switch it by being smart about what you're doing. Now, if I get low health, even that has visual indicators that tell you what's going on in ways that, make you more immersed in the experience. Now, let's pause for a moment to catch my breath. Oh jeez. And examine what this would be like in third person. So, in third person, a couple of things are the case, right? You know, you got me hiding around the corner. You know, and while it can be immersive still to some degree, it's technically not in other ways because, you know, you feel like you're controlling a character as opposed to actually being the person. You know, this is sort of actually what I believe Hideo Kojima is trying to capture in his upcoming game, Death Stranding. He's trying to make you part of the experience. Now, I don't know if Death Stranding is going to be third person or first, I'm not sure, but it sounds like there is going to be a focus on immersion of some kind. My apologies if I'm not the best. It's really hard to give commentary and game at the same time. This is live commentary. And as you can see, it's much better that way, because I'm able to give commentary of what's happening as it's happening, at least. Now, of course, little glitches here and there can break immersion. They can break immersion too. But ultimately, there are ways of making things better for the player if you do it right. Trying to look to see what's going on. Ah, there. I might head inside, see if I can get up to top and throw a bomb onto the helicopter. That failed. Never mind. I think I'm just gonna head out of here. And we'll get to what I wanted to talk about. In just a moment. Wait! Wow. That was actually a pretty amazing end. But yeah, now I want to get to something else that could be improved for in regards to immersion, and that is little things like items that you can pick up in the game. Now, there's fishing and stuff, which is a very immersive experience, but let's say you want to get some materials or whatever that are out in the wild. Yeah, but there's your mustard there, and ideally, you know, you go to pick it up, there's no animation for it. If they had an animation for something like that, I think it would be really, you know, it'd be really cool to see that. You know, I know previous games have done stuff like that. they've given, you know, little things to make it, you know, more immersive, like animations of actually cutting the, you know, resources from the ground and things like that, or pulling it from the ground. They don't do that here, and in my opinion, you could regard that as lazy game design to do that. But, you know, it's nitpicking in some way as well. Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about, actually, the last thing, I promise, is perhaps the best thing to talk about in terms of immersion. The best place to go in the game to talk about immersion, and that is the highest point in the game. So we're gonna make our way up here. Somehow, here we go. And first of all, can I say, look at that view. Whoa, we don't want to fall off the edge. Yeah, from here you really get a sense of how immersive a game like this can be. Part of the reason I'm bringing you up here is to iterate that, you know, the most fearful situations, the situations where you're at your most vulnerable, they are where first person shines the most. You know, when you're up here in first, it looks amazing, and you feel like you're actually there. When you're up there in third, it's great, but it's not anywhere near as immersive. I'm gonna make my way down, just very carefully. Now that I'm at a bit of jumping spot, let's show you why first person really matters in the most extreme way possible. Jeepers. Huh. Okay, we found an Easter egg. Screenshot that. And, yeah. It's moments like this when you get to look down at your feet that really make first person a thing to just embrace and love and adore for all that it is. I mean, in first person, you know, you get a sense for the adrenaline. You get a sense for the thrill of the moment. In third, whilst it is equally adrenaline fueled, it's honestly just not the same as first. And little details like your dangling legs, you know. Little details like your dangling legs help sell the moments like that. They make you feel like you really are jumping off a building, or you really are, you know, making contact with a domesticated animal, you know, and that's not something you see in every game. So really, to answer the question, why first person? The answer is immersion. That is why the developers of Far Cry 5 chose this and made it a forced perspective. They didn't want you to play in third for one reason, because they knew it would take you out of the experience, and they knew that if players fiddle around a bit, they would discover that there was a lot more for them in the game, and a lot of chance to roleplay as the character that they have created. You see, when you play in first person, there's a difference between first and third. You're not playing control of a character. You are them. You are the experiences that they experience. You are the events that they witness. And you are responsible, more responsible than ever, for everything that goes on. That's just something that is honestly fact when it comes to games. Third person, you're not as involved. You simply aren't. You're not as responsible for if something goes wrong. Whereas in first, you feel responsible if something goes wrong. You feel responsible if something goes right, and you feel more immersed in the people around you as well. This has been a deep discussion into the immersion of video games. I hope you've enjoyed it. My name is Naomi, and if you liked videos like this, I'll see you next time for more. Peace out.